Okay, right now we're going to look at the group control bar over here. Now that you have everything set up, you see all the different things that you can do with your groups. The one we've already looked at is the edit group settings, and you've seen this. You could go back and make changes here at any time, add pictures, add movies. It's just like a Word document, so that's not one we're going to spend any time on. Down here we've talked about privacy. You're going to want to set these as private so your students, only the students that you want looking at that page can be on that page, and you're not going to want any of your students to be able to create pages within your group. The next one is changing the group theme. And again, you can have the slate, the simple, press notes. That is completely your choice, and feel free to make it. Next one is delete group, and this is not one that we will be using unless for some reason you decide you just want to start from scratch. Okay, let's move into add discussion. You can add discussions within, over on the side over here. When we go to discussions, we can add these in, but we can also put them in other places on your site by doing the same copy and paste, create a link thing that we just did, that we've just learned. So right now I could create a discussion. Right now I could just talk about what you like about BC. And I could restrict it to certain students, so I could set it up if I have a group of students who want to work together. I could just put those 3 students on here working together, or it could be for my whole class. So right now it will be assigned to all the kids within this group. So one thing to point out, and you'll start to understand why we've set this up the way we have, is this is my house. This is a discussion for all of my classes. Now I could also create a discussion just for one of my period 2 discussion, but I'm creating this for all my classes, and that's why I created that house, was so I could do that, so I could reach all my students at one time. And you can see students can now respond, and they could just add their posts. They could also attach a picture, they could attach a document, they could attach lots of different things here if they wish, and they just add their post, and away they go. The next thing we're going to look at is add event. One of the things I know we've looked at already is the calendar function, and this shows you how you can add things to specific calendars. So one thing to keep in mind is an event is different from a homework assignment. This would be something like a behavior bash, a special thing that we're going to do on a certain day. It's not homework. That is separate, and they're color-coded separately. So I'm going to create one. If I want to put something on my personal calendar, I would do that here. You may want to do that. You may get so addicted to your My Big Campus calendar, that's what you use. Right now we're going to assume you're doing it for a group. And again, another reason you can see why I have created my house is that I can assign this event for all my classes here, or if it's specific to one of my periods, I could go through and assign it to one of these. Maybe it's just to my reach. You could do that. Let's say I'm going to put in behavior bash. That's something our middle school teachers do. It's going to happen on, let's say, the 25th, from that time to that time. It's going to happen in Scottsburg Middle School. Puts in the address. Could put in a map. That's not necessary for us. Here I could describe it. And once I'm done, I submit. And what I could do is then go to my calendar, and you'll see that it shows up right there. And it will go to all my students who have joined that group, who have joined my house group. It will show up on their calendar as well. Okay, so we've talked about that. We've talked about add event. Let's talk about adding a page. This is where you're going to have a lot of freedom to set things up the way you want to do, and many of you will want to do this in separate ways. So I'm just going to talk about the basic function to add a page. When we add a page, we're talking about to this main bar over here on the side. One way I've seen this used is some people are posting their daily agenda over here. So let's create a page called Daily Agenda. And it's just like the other ones where I can insert picture, video, or just type in content. Right now I'm just going to save so you can see that it pops up right over here. Now, I could keep adding page after page after page, And that's fine, you might want to do that. But what we don't want is this just to be listed all the way down with pages. What you're going to want to do is create subpages. So under Daily Agenda, I'll go to this gear thing over here, and here I can either edit the page, view the history, or add a subpage. And this is what you're going to want to do as you start thinking these things through. And to keep things neat and tidy is to create subpages within your pages. So under Add Subpage, I might put, I'm going to make up some dates here, April 25th through April 29th. And what I would do now is I could go through and put in, what I'm going to do during that week, my agenda. And I could even post a worksheet, make a link to a worksheet. I could post a video clip. I could go through and do whatever I want to do here. But once I'm done, click Save. And you'll see that under Daily Agenda, I have a subpage, April 25th to 29th. I could go through and I could do that for my entire year if I wanted to, a little bit at a time. Another thing I've seen people do is go through and they put their units on here. So they might put mythology and create that page. And then divide it by unit this way. So go in and then create subpages with that. So they might go in and we have it on, Hercules, create a subpage on that, and they put in all the resources that they have, a movie clip. They can go in and you could divide it up that way as well. Here you have a lot of freedom to decide how you want to put things out there, and this is going to be a very big part of how we see our teachers using My Big Campus, this and the assignment function, which we're getting ready to talk about very soon. Now the Manage Page Templates, this is a more advanced feature on My Big Campus. I don't want you to worry about this now. It's something that we'll be launching into later on. This describes the group control function.